Najir? Is
Yes,
that your
that is
name?
correct.
Najir.
That is
Okay.
correct.
How are
Um,
you?
I'm so good. And Dawn, what an absolute pleasure to talk to you today. And I'm so excited to not only talk to you, but to talk about the return, season two of Lower Decks, Star Trek. I've been buzzing about this show ever since I seen it revealed at San Diego Comic Con back in 2019. And then when I first heard you were casted for it, I was just like, Dawnn Lewis. I mean, she's so synonymous with my childhood. I mean, at this point, you might as well have been living with me. That your presence was just there, left and right, from obviously some of the iconic shows. Like Seabear and Jamal is one I know a lot of people probably don't talk about, but I
Oh
love that
no, you
show.
didn't call out Sea
I
Bear and
love that show.
Jamal. Oh
I
my
love that
goodness.
show.
I love that show. I couldn't believe we only got to do one season. I must have
Yeah,
done at least 4 or 5 voices on that show.
yeah.
It was fantastic. It was a lot of fun. That's very, oh, I love that. That's very, very sweet. That's very sweet.
But of course, a different world and hanging with Mr. Cooper. But yes, you're the iconic Dawnn Lewis, and I'm here to talk about your role as Captain Carol Freeman as we prepare for season two, making its premiere Paramount Plus August 12th. Now, you've been part of so many different franchises and fandoms, but I think it's pretty safe to say with a lot of confidence that this may be the most loyal fan bases of them all. The Trekkies are
Oh,
loyal to a T. So how does it feel now going into season two
okay. I'm gonna
and
turn my
being a
camera
part of this
on.
beloved?
I'm liking looking in your face. I'm gonna turn my camera on if that's okay.
That's
Hi.
perfectly fine. Hello,
Hi.
hello.
Okay. Yes, Star Trek, and I am one of those Trekkie fans. Since I was when it first came on, I think I was like 6 when the series first aired, and I would stay up late and risk getting the beating just so I could watch the show with my brothers while my mom was out at night school. I mean, we loved all of it. Lieutenant Uhura, she was gorgeous. All of my brothers
Yeah,
had crushes on her, and she was smart, she was capable. I mean, each and every character in Star Trek just brought their A game. You know what I mean? They just exemplified excellence. Even if they got it wrong, it was because they
yeah,
were doing their best to do their best. Lower Decks, on the other hand, is a bunch of children doing their best to not have to do their best. It's like, do we have to do that much? Do we really have to do that much? Can't we do this, please?
yeah,
And Captain Karen Freeman trying to wrangle them all. And she's got high expectations for her crew.
yeah.
And as far as she's concerned, the Cerritos is one of the most valuable ships and has one of the most valuable missions in Starfleet. And she had no idea that she was commanding a bunch of screw ups until her daughter showed up. It's like, but why does everything start with you? Everything
Yeah,
troublesome starts with you. Why is that? And they
yeah.
were doing their best to keep the secret. Mariner didn't want anyone to know because she wanted to keep cutting up. I didn't want anyone to know because I didn't want social services to come and get me for killing my own child. Um, but the cat got let out of the bag at the end of season 1. So
Yeah.
now everybody knows.
Yes, yes. Now, have seen half of season two, and obviously I'm not going to dive into any spoilers, but I do kind of want to get your perspective on this. Now, with Carol and with Mariner, the two of them, the mother-daughter relationship, Carol isn't always so honest with her, although she's blatantly honest with everybody else to a T. Could you talk about what we can expect from the two of them, the mother-daughter relationship going forward in this season?
Well, I don't know how I feel about you calling me a liar right off the bat. However, I don't believe that she lies to Mariner so much as she learns what words resonate with her to get her to do what needs to be done. So it's not a lie if I don't tell you the whole story. It's not
Okay.
really a lie if what I need you to do is what I asked you to do. I just didn't tell you the whole reason why I need you
Yeah.
to do it. So
Yeah.
I think after season 1 or through season 1, both Beckett both Mariner and Captain Freeman are starting to actually listen and hear things in each other's character and in each other's vocabulary that enlightens them in how better to successfully communicate, or at least get what you
Yeah.
want out of the other person, as opposed to just going head
Yeah.
to head all of the time.
Yeah.
So in season 2, you see us both doing what we can to work on our relationship a little bit, and sometimes it goes way overboard, but it doesn't take long for us to snatch it right back and say, okay, not only is that excessive, but it doesn't even feel good.
Yeah. And a part I was kind of key into, and obviously, again, for anybody watching this or listening to this, no spoilers, but there is a sense of solstice between the two of them at the conclusion of episode 5. Solstice, like solstice.
Okay.
Yes, between the two of them at the conclusion of episode 5, where we see, let me see how I dance around this. Captain Carol, really much like you said too, with a lot of confidence about the mission of her crew, even quoting, which I love this quote, "My crew does as much as Picard." And then obviously, how that event kind of didn't play out. But at the same time, her daughter also have her own journey. But at the end of the day, they found peace with one another. And
yes.
It was a really beautiful moment. So that's why I was kind of focusing on, like, how do we see them going forward, the two of them? Because, yeah, like you said, it's been a little bit of rocky. But I think at the end of the day, there is a big moral lesson being taught. And there's obviously a lot of love between the two of them. And I love it being displayed. And it resonates even through my life as well. So I definitely appreciate that. But the interesting thing I wanted to bring up too, because a lot of the focus is the relationship between the two of them, but how would you also describe the relationship between Captain Lewis and Commander Jack Ransom this season?
Ransom, he's a soldier. He's a good soldier, and he's good with good, clear orders. So you either give him a good, clear order, or he's going to make up some orders that he believes he should be following. So if you don't tell him where to go, he's going to make up his mind where he needs to go, and he's going to do it boldly and confidently so until you snatch him back.
Yeah.
We get to snatch him back a lot this season. Yeah, we do.
Looking forward to seeing them.
And Jerry O'Connell is hilarious as Ransom. He's just, and to me, I was sitting next to Jerry at the premiere. I've known Jerry for years. I guest starred on a show he did called Sliders, like back in the 90s, wherever that was. And I every time I hear Ransom speak, it does not sound like Jerry O'Connell to me. And he says he doesn't do anything particularly different to his voice to manifest that character, but I swear it sounds like a completely other human being to me. Seriously. Eugene sounds like Rutherford. So Eugene's voice, and Noelle, I don't know when she breathes, when she does her lines. I don't. Tendi, her character has got the energy, and she can just go, and the lines just go and come and come and come and come, and you're waiting to breathe and hope she breathes so that nobody suffocates. And and Tawny's comedic timing is just insane. She is so good, and I love when we get to have those scenes going back and forth at each other. Oh my gosh, I love it.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I did want to talk about, especially with the pandemic, which we're still going through, but obviously a lot of the filming or recording of this was during the pandemic. How did you two work through the pandemic in those moments when you had to work together to create that energy between you two? And plus also that mother-daughter relationship that you kind of want to bring into the booth as well. How did you all work through that in regards to the pandemic?
Well, we all recorded individually. We didn't get to work with each other basically for the entire season 2, in all honesty. Not only was there the pandemic, but prior to the pandemic, I was in New York doing a show on Broadway. So I was in the booth at a theater, at a recording studio up the street from the theater, recording all of my stuff being directed via Zoom. So when the pandemic
Yeah.
hit, I was now accustomed to being directed via Zoom and being directed by myself. One of the things that I think we all had going for us is that many of us were friends before we started doing
Yeah.
Lower Decks. I met Tawny through Lower Decks, but we had a couple of read throughs, and before I left for New York, we did get to work in the studio together a few times. So all that to say is that we're familiar with each other's voices, and you can literally hear
Mm,
the person speaking, saying these words. Mike McMahon did a brilliant job in the vocabulary he put in each individual character's mouth. And he really got a sense of how we speak and how we deliver things, so that when I'm doing my lines by myself, I can swear I hear Tawny's voice saying those lines back to
mm,
me, even though Tawny's not there at all. And
mm,
I think each of us in our own way has developed that kind of intuitive resonation for whoever it is we're supposed to be in the scene with. Is just really being able to
mm,
envision that person actually speaking to you.
mm. And y'all have some
Director,
really
I have to say, I'm sorry, I have to say that our directors are absolutely brilliant, because they know the whole picture. They know what the animation is going to ultimately
yeah.
look like. So they know how to coach performances out of us that they know they can piece it together. I don't know how they do it. One line at a
Mm.
time, one character at a time, and then piece that whole thing together so that it flows so seamlessly. It's incredibly impressive.
I absolutely love hearing that from you. You're so well respected. You're iconic, and you're still a student to the game right now, still learning. And I think that speaks a lot for anybody trying to pursue in this career. That you're just never too good enough to ever still learn something. So that's really cool to hear. And I can't wait, considering that season 3 has been ordered, and that if things start to trend better, imagine those scenes where you're actually able to be together to do it.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. We were actually in the same place together for the first time in 2 years at the premiere party a few
Yep,
days ago.
yep,
We
yep.
hadn't all been in the same place, and Jack Quaid wasn't there because he's back up in Canada doing The Boys. I got to do a guest spot with Jack on The Boys. We had a blast. And
Awesome.
yes, and Gillian wasn't able to be there either, so she's off working, but everybody else was there. It was really great.
So I'm going to do this really quickly because I'm about to be up on my time. Now, it was hinted at the end of last season that Captain Freeman may have had a weakness to sweets. And I forgot to add something fun here. Is there anything that you have a guilty pleasure to in terms of some type of dessert or whatnot?
Yes, dessert. Do I have to be specific? Do I have to be specific? No,
No.
I like dessert. I like dessert.
Well, look,
I love my favorite is coconut cake and German chocolate cake and nana pudding and pecan pie and any kind of cobbler.
oh, yeah.
Yes, any kind of cobbler. Or my favorite, your inner thighs are gonna clap for this. They're gonna reach each other and clap. A hot brownie covered in some ice cream with some caramel drizzled on the top and some hot fudge with a sliced banana. Come on now. Come on now.
Go. There we go. Well, look,
Dessert.
I'm going to end this interview. I'm going to end this interview with praise. See what I did there?
Amen. Amen. Praise God. What we're doing is amazing.
One of your lines from the season, almost verbatim, except I changed the word interview, so I'm gonna end this with praise. But see, paying attention to your lines in this episode, in this season. But no, seriously, I am going to end this interview in praise. I just want to say you're doing a fantastic job. For anybody, I got to say that your performances in episode 4 and 5, especially 5, you really showed some versatility, some range, some passion, a little bit of anger and tension as well. You really, really, really brought it episode 5. And I'm so excited. I can't wait for everybody to check out season 2 of Lower Decks. This is, as I've been saying for a long time, this is a show you just don't want to miss. So Dawnn, you're fantastic. Thank you for everything you've done for my childhood, and thanks for the work that you brought to this show.
My absolute pleasure. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am humbled and honored that I had even a small bit of inspiration for you becoming the man that you are determined to become and clearly committed to becoming. So congratulations to you as well. And if this is airing in time for the premiere on Thursday, know that they're going to be, a lot of the cast is going to be live chatting during the premiere. I unfortunately won't be able to be there. I'll be out of the country. I'm in the middle of shooting a movie. Right.
All right.
No, I will be there in spirit. I will be there in spirit. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoy season 2 even more than you enjoyed season 1. And keep hanging with us.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Adventurous.